Let the record show, all board members but Jim are present and accounted for.
I printed the book of emails just now. See? So I prepared.
Me too, Marcus. Don't feel
Printed
bad.
the book.
37 pages.
That's what I gave you a copy of
handed
that
to
too.
us in a handout, I think.
Is that one? You got two? What? Oh, I got it.
Some might say if you had trouble sleeping, pull that out and read it. Some would say that, not necessarily me.
Busy signing checks and I forgot to hand the report. Or didn't have a chance.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very
So I'll
much.
interrupt
Thank
the
you, sir.
meeting, but. God,
Thank you.
Yes, yeah. Motion to approve the consent calendar approval for April 10th, 2017 minutes.
I'd like to make a motion to approve with the addition of an executive session, probably fits in the best. Let's do our audit report, treasurer's report, before items discussion.
Yeah.
Make it 4C.
Second?
Marcus Major,
Yes.
Dean Mober,
Yes.
Jim Westmoreland,
yes.
Jeff Clapp.
Yes. Heard from the audience, nothing till later.
He's on the agenda.
You might want to add some color.
Well, that's true, that's true.
All right. 2016 audit report, Chief.
Michael Keenan's here from,
The firm.
Yeah, the firm. For the 2016 audit. Cochran Head Vic. So, some of you guys have two copies in front of you.
So,
Sorry.
I'll try to add as much color as I can to this presentation. Again, good evening. My name is Michael Keenan. I'm with the firm of Cochran Head Vic. I'm here to present the results of the audit for the fiscal year ended December 31, 2016. You've been provided multiple copies of two reports, the financial statements as well as the required communications. And also I've provided a little handout that will help go through that I'll discuss. Did you get one?
I did, yes. Yes, I did, right here.
Anyway, a financial and compliance audit really addresses three basic questions. Are the financial statements free of material misstatement? Are effective internal controls in place, and are they designed and operating effectively? And did the fire district comply in all material aspects of finance-related laws and regulations? That's the three questions the audit basically addresses. Our responsibilities as the outside CPAs is to perform our audit in accordance with generally accepted auditing standards, as well as governmental auditing standards, and the Kansas Municipal Audit and Accounting Guide. Those are all the professional standards that guide us through the audit. We're also responsible for planning and performing the audit to obtain reasonable but not absolute assurance that the basic financial statements are free of material misstatement. What that means is we don't test and look at every transaction. We do a risk-based approach and look at the significant audit areas. Also, our responsibility is to provide reasonable but not absolute assurance. Oops, sorry, that's already repetitive. And also report on internal controls over financial reporting and compliance with laws and regulations. The scope of our audit, again, is the financial statements that are prepared on a regulatory basis of accounting, which is a comprehensive basis of accounting other than generally accepted accounting principles. What that means is you follow the state Kansas budget laws. You may recall you passed that in every January, the resolution that lets you report under this method. The Auditing and Standards Board of the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, the AICPA, recommend that we communicate the following matters to the governing board. Legal acts. None came to our attention as a result of performing our audit procedures. There were no significant change in accounting policies. Pleased to report we had no disagreements with management, and we had full cooperation and access to all the books and records. In summary, to answer the three basic questions, our report on the district's financial statements, in our opinion, the financial statements are presented fairly in all material respects. Our report on internal controls over financial reporting, we did not identify any deficiencies in internal control over financial reporting that we considered to be material weaknesses, else we would have had to report those to you. And we did not identify any non-compliance with finance-related laws and regulations that we were required to report. I want to give special thanks to Rick and his staff, which that's both of you, right?
Yeah, yep.
Again, for providing us all the information and answers to our inquiries throughout the audit. I'd be pleased to answer any questions that the board may have regarding either of these two reports.
I know we've had our mechanism, and you've done our audit for several years here. With our technique of bookkeeping and two signatures, et cetera, again, it appears you're fine with the methodology for our disbursement of funds.
I am. Again, historical, again, we have recommended previously, this goes back a while, where you have implemented compensating controls with a small group, where you really have one personnel responsible for those, about having Rick being a check signature, having the bank statements go to the treasurer. You've implemented all those things, so I'm absolutely content, and the way that you're doing your policies and procedures related to disbursements, I think it's great.
I think one thing that reduces our vulnerability and risk quite a bit is we don't deal in any petty cash flow. It's all checks, whatever.
That's true. And also, quite frankly, this board is very active in reviewing financial information. You get that and you ask questions. That's not always the case in some of the entities that we go to. They don't always take an active role in all the financial matters of the organization that they're governing. So I commend this board for doing that. That's really an important part of the overall control. You know, you always hear the tone at the top, and it starts with this board. And I commend, you know, that's great that you guys take that much of an active interest in those policies and procedures.
Appreciate it. So we're looking for a motion to approve the Leavenworth County Fire District Number 1 financial audit year ended December 31st, 2016.
I so move.
Second?
Marcus Major,
Yes.
Dean Mober,
Yes,
Jim Westmoreland,
Yes.
Jeff Platt.
Yes.
thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Guys have a nice
Thank
evening.
you.
And if ever you have a question at some point or time later on, don't hesitate to give me a call.
Okay, appreciate it.
Thank you.
When we're having sleeping problems.
Let's hope these are.
Have a good day. See ya. Moving on to the first quarter of 2017 Treasury Report. Jim?
Yeah, passed the report out. It should be very familiar to you as far as the way it's set up, very similar. First quarter, good shape. Overall, we're 4.12% under straight line. That equates to about $47,000. So that helps us going into the second quarter. Within that overall, the personnel is at 3.7% under. And the big conglomeration of line items that we have grouped under total non-salary line is 4.98 under straight line. So, you know, right now, we're in good shape.
So we need a, Jim, are you wrapped up on that? Any?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless somebody got
I
questions.
move that we approve and accept the first quarter's 2017 Treasury Report from James Westmoreland.
Second?
Marcus Major,
Yes.
Dean Mober,
Yes.
Jim Westmoreland,
Yes.
Jeff Platt.
Yes. Item 4C, which was added by Dean, move that we, or there's to go into an executive session. I think we need a motion to do that.
I move that we adjourn to executive session at 7:10 to return at, let's think it's 7:30.
A second?
Discussion of non-personnel items,
Non-elected personnel.
non-elected personnel.
I think that's the term.
Yeah.
I think that's the verbiage.
Works for me.
Okay. Who's second?
A second.
Marcus Major,
Yes.
Dean Moberg,
Yes.
Jim Westmoreland,
Yes.
Jeff Blount.
Yes.
Return to open session.
Return from open session.
I move.
Second? Well, whoever.
Item for discussion, 2018 budget.
We got to vote on it.
I'm just, I'm excited here. It's a Rick's budget, so.
Let me keep you legal. Let me keep you right. Marcus Major,
Yes.
Dean Moberg,
Yes.
Jim Westmoreland,
Yes.
Jeff Blount.
Yes. Now, moving on to items for discussion, 2018 budget.
Okay, I give you guys this in May. As per our policy, we have to go over the pay scale, and that's in May. So that's the biggest thing, and of course, that's also 2/3 of the budget. So, again, keep in mind that we have got no income numbers at all for 2018. We won't get that until late June. We may start getting the motor vehicle numbers and stuff here pretty quick, but as far as the evaluation and stuff, that's late June. So what I've given you guys is my projected salary numbers and numbers for items that will need your regular operating budget. The big items will be the purchase of the land, water, electricity. That's something we'll have to be looking at in 18. What we have to look at in 19 is $150,000 to $200,000 worth of air packs. The ground and everything will be right about $125,000. So that's the biggest things we got coming up.
How much is that one on the air packs in 19?
We're looking at, well, it depends on what the bids and stuff come in, but probably 150 plus.
And you don't think there's any aid we can get or grants? that we
We'll
can-
put in for the grants, I mean, but, they still have $3 billion worth of requests, and now it's down to like $250 million, so they go, they drop it every year, more and more and more, so
Not
that
that you're not
the
an
requests keep
expert on writing
coming.
those, but do we want to try and employ for a test run, somebody to write a grant for us?
We can, but we gotta
And-
pay somebody to do it.
Yes, we do. It might be something we can discuss at some point to say, if we have somebody spend a couple grand on writing a grant and our percent of acceptance goes up some amount, it might be worth doing something like that. And it's, we should just kind of understand. I don't know if there's an industry person that is good at doing those.
I don't know anything about them. I've had some city council folks help me that write grants, and that
Jim
didn't
writes
help.
grants, doesn't he?
I don't know if he does or
I think
not.
he does. Yes.
So I've had some folks look at our grants and stuff and our applications and.
Okay.
So,
So there might,
Yeah.
okay. I was just curious. on
Yep.
that.
but like I say, that money keeps dropping off drastically every year, but the requests don't. So,
Okay. And the 150 is a complete replacement, and there's not going to be a, for all of the packs?
yeah,
For all that-
that's everything. The only shortcut we could do with the air packs is buy all new bottles, because that's what's up, is the bottles. The air packs are still fine,
Yeah.
except we're on, let's see, they're replaced the versions change every 3 years, so that's 14 years old, so we're 5 versions old now. So everybody that bought air packs, Kansas City, Missouri, Grandview, that bought air packs about the same time we have all replaced theirs, so we're kind of using their spare parts that's left. Every year, we come up and have them tested, and it's a little bit more every year for, hey, this broke, and that broke, and $500 for this piece, and $250 for that piece, and so it's not gonna be too long before those pieces aren't gonna be available, so I would recommend that, in 19, you guys are looking at replacing those air packs.
So, in the 2018 proposal, you didn't crank any in for anticipation of the prison thing, right?
Yes, I did.
Oh, we did?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Yeah, there's, $32,000 put in there. Anything else after that, we'd have to come out of our equipment reserve fund. And like I say, we're looking at the price of the land, which will be X amount. The water will be about 20,000, the power will be about 40 to 45,000. So we did have the electrical engineer come in and say we did need a 80 kW generator. I just told you in my notes that that's about the right size generator for this building according to other entities I've talked to, so.
So what limits us to 32,000?
That's just the max I could go
One.
and stay under 8 point, or stay
Oh,
under
okay,
9
that's what I
mils.
was getting at.
Yeah.
So that's our.
Yeah,
if
that's,
we're trying to
that's as
stay
high as
under-
I could go.
Yeah. Gotcha.
What will our reserve accounts be at that point?
Well, right now, we've got 215,000-ish. But we've board's kind of wanting to keep 16% as a equipment, or as a special reserve, just in case something happens. So we got basically $80,000 in equipment reserve. So we'll go through that pretty fast.
Above the
Above the 16%.
above the 16%. So,
So we go through that 80,000 pretty fast.
So if we have somewhat of a windfall and a significant increase in our resources coming in, then we could jack that 32,000 up
Yeah,
on that, on 8.99.
yeah, if we stay the max we can go, then
What's the time frame for that? I know it could vary.
we get that usually the third week of June,
Oh.
fourth week of June.
All of those numbers?
No, we'll get motor vehicle tax and all that. We'll start getting that here in a couple of weeks.
But no
So-
property tax?
No, property tax will not come in until late June.
So by the end of June, we'll know what all our
Yes.
resources are?
Yeah.
so we're sitting at, on the mill for 2017, we're at what for that mill on today? You have that number?
What is it, 8.5-ish?
That's right. So we went from
8.5 exactly.
7.69 in 2016, 8.5 in 2017.
Right,
Just under a mill that we went up.
right.
And we're building our reserves today to the tune of how much per year are we putting into reserves?
Last year, we put in 30,000,
30,000.
and that was from unused funds. We didn't budget any reserve. We
We used, what did we use?
Insurance.
mostly it's health insurance.
So for 2017, we have how much is going into reserves?
We have nothing budgeted. We cannot budget for equipment reserve, but we did budget extra money for major equipment, so that if we don't use that money, but that major equipment money can go also to buying the land this year if we get an agreement. So that would help next year. That 32,000 will go a lot farther next year if we can buy the land this year.
Okay. There's probably a good opportunity for that, a working session, which we usually do at
Yeah.
some point in this, to have that mill discussion. That's always electrifying.
Yes.
Any more on the 18 budget you want to bring up?
Nope, just
You have some
kinda-
critical things that you put in there, right? So increase for the guys, some of the expenses that are coming up that you want to discuss,
Right.
and
Yeah, basically the contractual stuff, you can kind of see that it stayed pretty much flatlined.
your assistant chief.
The assistant chief, we had talked about that. Basically, what we're looking at is sometime around May, we hire an assistant chief with the understanding that when I leave in the fall, that person will take over as chief. Then if the board decides, hey, we like this assistant chief thing, you can rehire another assistant chief, or you leave it vacant the way we have it now.
You're
That's
looking
up
like-
to you
You're
guys.
looking like running a continuity from chief to
Yes.
assistant chief is really what you're talking about.
Yes.
how many months are we talking to do? Is that
Like I say, I would
3 months,
I would
or-
say hire them in May sometime, so you got May, June, July, August, 4 months, 5 months.
Yeah.
Basically, it's to learn, you know, the fire chief side of it is pretty simple. I mean, whoever we hire is gonna have fire experience. What I'm
Right.
concerned with is the accounting stuff and the bills and the bookkeeping and all that, so.
Yeah, that doesn't take.
Yeah, all
No, I didn't take
operational
That's
that.
just a negative.
Yeah. The fire chief side's the easy side.
all the operational headaches and the politics and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes about another week. So we're really talking about 2 weeks.
2 weeks,
Yeah.
yeah, max.
And we
So-
vote, is it August that we vote on the budget?
Yes.
All right, so we
Yes.
vote in August.
Yeah, we'll publish it. You guys will vote to publish it in July. We'll give it to you, hey, these are the final numbers, this is what we're gonna go with, this is what we're gonna publish. And then we publish it in the paper in July, and then August, we have the public hearing where everybody comes in, you know, the 3 people
Yeah,
come
okay.
in, just see what's.
So kind of that working session should be June-ish.
Yes.
Yeah, all right. So,
Well, I think you've got some pretty thoughtful notes right here on your chief's notes. I definitely agree with you.
any other comments? Anything? All
You
right.
guys good with the pay scale and whatnot, and go from there, or?
I would say we should wait till we have that discussion.
Okay.
Yeah, so there'll be a flurry of questions that'll come out of that.
Okay.
You move on to the next one?
Move on to the next one.
All right.
I sent-
SOPs?
Yeah, on SOPs 105, 106, and 204, I sent you guys an email of all those, and those are existing SOPs that you guys have not looked at in several years, so I'm going through now and updating the best pick, you know, the BPGs we got that I control, but these SOPs is what the board controls, so I'm not recommending any changes, just, hey, do you guys see anything you want to change?
I read
Because there
them.
are some that we do need to change, but I figure I'll start getting a couple out to you a month, and,
I don't have any problem with them. I think they're good,
okay?
in my opinion.
I
So
just
do you
wanted-
have ones you're going to want to add to the items for action next?
Yeah, this, the 205 is, I gave you guys
Yeah, that's
for
a new-
vacation backfill. So that's one I had to come up with. We're having some issues with getting enough guys to backfill shifts. We're losing one of our volunteers that does a lot of backfill for us. He's moving to New York. So, and then we've got guys that really don't want to work overtime. So, you know, we're trying like heck to keep 3 guys on shift all the time, but like EMS and Leavenworth Fire, you know, they'll have 2 extra guys per shift to be able to maintain their minimum manning, so, and we don't carry an extra guy to maintain, you know, we got 3 guys on shift and we're trying to maintain 3 guys. So what this policy is saying, we're gonna try and maintain 3 guys, but on evenings and weekends, we can drop down to 2. That'll save some of these guys from working overtime, but if we do need, somebody calls in sick at 5 o'clock in the morning, and then I gotta call guys, you know, 5:30, trying to find overtime, if the on-duty shifts, all of them say, no, I don't wanna work, well, then I have no
Got no,
vehicle to say, yes, you will.
So what are you looking for then?
So this policy is basically giving us guidelines to, okay, we're not gonna maintain 3 guys 100% of the time. We're gonna maintain three guys as much as possible.
Right.
If you guys say we're gonna maintain 3, then we're gonna maintain 3, and we're gonna have a lot of forced overtime.
You're going to make it more lenient on the guys going from...
Yeah, I
3
was
to
told
2.
castration couldn't be part of this policy, so,
Okay.
details. And it gives a set of guidelines how we're gonna do a lot of things. So, basically EMS uses a draft system, so we'll start a draft system. I don't look to see, you know, we've got a pretty good bunch of guys that very seldom do they call in sick, but they do. I mean, we get a guy call in 5:30 in the morning, well then I gotta have, if it's Tuesday, I've gotta have somebody to cover that day. So.
I think it's good you're spelling it out.
This gives me a vehicle to do that.
Yeah.
Like I say, the draft system's written out here, what's expected, and that way it's not a surprise. It should be understood.
The cadet program,
Brendan,
gentlemen.
This is Brendan Hannigan. He's kind of running with the cadet program. So,
So I'm going to be the lead instructor. Do you all understand what we're trying to do? Okay. So as of right now, we've talked to the school. We have a presentation we gave in January or February. We gave that to 200 juniors. Out of that, we received 13 that are interested. We're going to take 5 of them for next year. Lansing High School is going to go ahead and pick the 5 based on their academics and stuff, and scheduling. So we're going to do 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. The last 2 hours of the day will be the class time. We're going to allow them to come in Thursday nights for our training nights. Some of them may end up being mandatory. They'll just give them some extra practical time. As of right now, we have 4 instructors. Myself, Josh will be assisting on my shift. We have Chris Concannon and then Tony Massock. It'll run all year. The 5 students will be in first and second semester. First year, we'll teach them Fire 1, and then second semester will be Fire 2. We've worked out a deal with KCKCC, and they're going to be testing with them when KU comes up to test their academy class. So that'll get them certified as long as they're 18 at that time to be Fire 1, Fire 2. And then they'll end up continuing on to KCKCC to either do fire science program or take hazmat awareness and ops. We won't be teaching those in-house just because we don't have a certified instructor. We don't staff any hazmat techs, but KCK does teach those classes, and so that'll be an option for them. So, do you have any questions?
That's great.
I think you're doing it correctly and taking this 5 and get the program running, see how it goes, and go from there. Any one day, after they see what's happening, may have 30 kids want to sign up, and then there was talk about, KCK, of course, is loving this, and they thought, well, how about Baser and Leavenworth and blah, 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 blah. Down the road, maybe, but we're just starting it, they're doing it correctly, and I appreciate your efforts.
That's great, yeah, nice job.
Yeah, good show.
So one question, not that you can, but is Lansing High School advisors, academic advisors, are they allowing you or your other instructors to review or have any input in the selection of 5? Because I'm just wondering what their qualifications are in selecting.
no,
the
they're going to
future
pick the 5. She said we've got 13, and we told her we wanted to have 5, and she said, I will have no trouble getting it down to 5. Because there's some kids that absolutely have no
And
business
these 5
doing
meet
this.
the requirements that you...
She will make sure, the advisors will make sure.
So
That's
they're
what
your
I'm asking.
requirements.
You know,
Yeah.
the kids that want to get out of the last 2 hours of school,
Yeah,
no,
there's-
that's not what this is about.
And that's what she said, we'll have no problem getting it down to 5. Because she said there's some kids that have no business being here.
Yeah, because they know the kids.
Yeah,
much
they
more
know the
better-
kids.
A lot better than we do.
Because that's what we told her, we want to make sure that they're coming to training, they're coming to our Saturdays, she says that's part of the agreement, then you tell them first day, or we'll tell them before then, hey, Thursdays figure on being stationed, Saturdays figure on being stationed, so.
Okay. Thanks, John, thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brandon.
Board member concerns, Dean?
Chief may mention too, the dinner coming up.
Dinner, Friday night, any board members attending?
That's this Friday night?
Okay, yes,
I called you on my problem.
called you, yep.
I'll be in California.
So you're coming back? Coming back for rubber chicken?
That's right.
Okay, 2 and 2?
Good.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Marcus?
No.
Jim?
Yeah, looking at the budget for this month, the monthly report, we're running a little better than we did for the first quarter. We're about 61,000 under straight line, so about 5.5%. So a little bit of improvement in in the second quarter on straight line stuff.
Great. Next meeting is June 12th at 7. So, other than that, move to adjourn.
A second.
Moved in second.
Marcus Major,
Yes.
Dean Moberg,
Yes.
Jim Westmoreland,
Yes.
Jeff Clapp.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.